Are you live?
I think so. Pretty sure.
What is live?
I don't know.
Hmm. I see a red bar. There we go. Look at. Okay. I swear to God, I'm actually properly zoomed out this time.
Yes, you are.
I don't know. Did you change something?
No, I did not. That's you, man. That's all you.
It's so crazy, honestly.
It's no longer Zealeus up here.
I can zoom in a tad, but I'm ready whenever you are.
All right. Let's hit that record button. And then mute Zealeus just because I can. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another. Let's try this again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Disjunct Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. I said it's a Thursday Night Hangout.
First time at a Thursday night hangout.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
Indeed, it is good to see you on this wonderfully still polleny Thursday.
Yes, I'm still barely breathing thanks to all the wonderful pollen and other bullshit.
We have rain at some point in our lives. It was supposed to rain all this week, and I was super excited. But they said F you.
That percentage keeps going down and down and down and down every single day. So
I know. It's very sad because we need it.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangouts, our live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. At any point during the show, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, opinions, criticisms, thoughts, all you got to do is drop it into the chat, be it on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, and we'll add it to the show. If we do unfortunately run out of time, we'll add it to the very next show. All right. So let's get down to business. First, we knew that AI was coming for our jobs, and a certain company is just, employees have confirmed it. The company refuses to comment on it. That, of course, is the company behind Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which I believe is Warhorse. Warhorse Studios. Certain employees who are in charge of the voiceover translation for their game has been told to kick rocks. And that AI would be used for all translations going forward.
Unfortunately, it's sad, but I'm not surprised. There's some places that I wish they were not taken over by AI, but unfortunately do make, if you're going to have a logical sense where you take out human emotion,
yes,
that is one of them that does make logical sense.
Yes.
If we had any actual real worker protections, there would be something along the lines of AI cannot take jobs. They can supplement, sure. I don't think anyone's going to argue against that. But as far as just wholesale replacing, I think that's beating a very, very dead horse.
Yes.
Unfortunately. It sucks. And of course, it's a negative feedback loop because if one company does it, other companies are going to be doing the same thing that might not be publicized. And so it just makes it harder and harder to find that job then also. Does not help.
Well, if it's anything like the beta AI dubbing that Amazon did, it's going to be shit-tacular.
Probably, but I also think in a video game it's less obtrusive. Meaning, people when it comes to the anime, they already basically know what it should be, and people are going to really quickly notice those issues. But in a video game, I'm a type of video game players. So if you watch the anime, right?
Yep.
The dialogue's that's why you're watching it. Obviously there's the screen stuff too, but that's what it is. It's dialogue and screen. That's all you have. Whereas in video games, a game like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, you got combat and things like that. So yes, I'm not trying to take anything away from the work that the workers did, but I think in general, it's much easier for gamers to overlook poor dialogue words or word choice, in this case, probably due to AI, is going to happen. And just be like, oh, well, somebody translated this badly without even realizing it. Because most people aren't even paying attention to these news stories.
Okay, for those who are not Zealeus, who pay attention to dialogue, it could potentially look. Here's the deal. There's probably going to be quite a few for NPCs that are your generic roles in games. Yeah, you probably won't notice. But if it's someone trying to give you a motivational speech or is on the brink of death, and they basically go, I'm dying. Save me, hero. This is our only chance. The pain. It gets so bad. Wait. So it's got to be translated. The pain. Hurt. Bad. It's not continued quest for me and I. You go to castle and destroy. No, kill. No. Don't know word.
Have you ever thought of being a voiceover actor?
Huh?
You'd be great at it. You'd be great at being a voiceover actor.
That's what I've been told. But
I think you're missing out here, sir.
Save the kingdom. Yes. Rally the troops.
Who needs AI when you have Alta Confusion who can do AI for you?
Oh boy. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, look, it is sad, but unfortunately, this is the way that this is yet another cost cutting move so that companies can continue to survive. It's unfortunate, but the vast majority of companies out there are having to pour in lots and lots of money, and if they can replace people with things that don't require a salary and only require a license, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, and it's also the part where like they're investing all this money and they're buying licenses to whether it's ChatGPT or Claude with Anthropic or Microsoft, whatever it is. At the end of the day, the owners or shareholders are going to expect an ROI, return on investment, on that. And unfortunately, what is the easiest way to make it look like you're increasing profits?
By releasing the people that you have to pay.
Yep. Of course, they're ignoring the fact of whether or not you need those people to actually create a quality product and all that other stuff. But from a purely cold perspective, it's the first thing to go.
They'll be fine. Right?
Well played.
Anyways, but yeah.
Yeah.
No bueno. That's what I have to say. No bueno.
It's not. I agree with that. Yeah, I wish I had something more profound, but here we are. Yeah, here we are.
Okay. So since we're continuing with, let's continue with this bad news train. How about that? I feel like this, unfortunately, has become such a norm in the last year and a half that let's just keep it going.
We got good news again Sunday, right? Right?
Huh?
Right?
Huh?
Right? Yeah. All right. What's the next news?
Let's talk about the fact that some very popular consoles are they're going to get a price hike.
Oh. You mean, so you hope if you're a console player, you should have already bought your console?
Yes. Yes, if you are, say, a PlayStation, if you wanted to buy a PlayStation 5, be it a PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro, I'm not exactly sure what the remote player is.
Yeah, it's basically you have your console, and you can play your PS5 from anywhere with it.
Oh,
if it works. Yeah, it's basically remote play. This is what it comes down to. Although it's very hit or miss. Like some people it works fantastically, meaning like zero lag. So it's basically like
You have
having
a good
a
ISP.
for what I've, yes, the ISP matters, but the key is your PS5 plugged into Ethernet?
No
Apparently it doesn't matter
wireless.
like how it doesn't matter how good the wireless is. Like it could be, super, awesome Wi-Fi. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Apparently, remote play is just going to suck over Wi-Fi regardless of anything. So, and of course, being in the same house helps. So, like,
Hmm.
if you want to play, on your bed or in your toilet, whatever the case may be, if you're in the same house and your PS5 is on Ethernet, apparently that is actually a great experience.
Hmm.
When you start going outside the house, then you start getting into ping latency and upload issues, and then who knows?
Eh.
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, I did see that, and I'm not surprised. It's, I mean, you look at the price of, basically every hardware component is just going up.
Hmm.
With because of thank you AI, we love you. With RAM, SSDs, everything like is just like I'm actually going through right now and like cataloging like my PC parts, and like my computer would cost 4 times as much if I were to build it today,
Oh yeah.
just because of like between the RAM, the SSD, and the graphics card, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
What the parts are costing nowadays, and it's just like holy smokes. So, like, it was honestly inevitable that the console was going to increase in price. Um, when it comes to like the AI job layoffs, like that is just bad, like for everything for society. But when it comes to console price increases, I'm just kind of like, meh. I'm not surprised. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, it's just, yeah. And I know there's the whole things about like, costs go down, and why that's historically than true. Sometimes
Hmm.
when it comes to all things electronics. Um, yeah,
For
yeah, I
those
mean,
curious who live in the US of A,
yeah,
starting today, the PlayStation 5 base model will be basically $650, and if you want to get the PS5 Pro model, you're looking at 900.
I am. And I don't think the base model comes with a disc slot anymore. I think that's external now.
Who needs discs?
So very true. Disc. I mean, according to basically indie publisher, you don't. I guess. Um. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Um.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I won't be surprised if the what you call it PS6 is going to be like $1,000. Um. Yeah. It's tricky because there's a time when like plopping down. I mean, I'm not saying it's not expensive, but $450 to $500 for a PlayStation or Xbox, like, okay, we gotta save up, but that's doable. But
Hmm.
now with the economy, people unfortunately losing jobs left and right. The cost of everything is going up.
Yep.
It's giving a much harder sell. I should be very curious because, like, I mean, I know that as a whole, the PC market's actually doing pretty well as far as gaming sales go.
Hmm.
But if these costs keep on going up, like, are people going to be literally priced out of gaming just because shit's so expensive
Yeah.
just for the hardware?
Right.
And
Well, and just in case you people are curious, there is the prediction that the Nintendo Switch will also be seeing a price increase. They have not, um, they haven't announced it officially, but apparently a former Nintendo sales lead predicts that we too shall see a price increase for the Switch 2. So perhaps if you were looking to get into the Switch 2, you may want to get it sooner rather than later because
Yep.
although it's not known if it's just going to be a $50 price hike, it may be more. So
I'm personally still wondering if there hasn't been rumors of a OLED version, which I'm kind of surprised at.
yeah,
Because the more about now, you start to see like, whispers, but not even a whisper. So yeah, because I'm one of those who was kind of like in the camp of like wait until the OLED version of Switch 2 comes out.
Mhm.
I wonder if we'll be waiting longer than I originally thought.
Perhaps.
Because if you also increase the base price of the Switch 2, having that price premium to get the Switch 2 OLED, that's even harder to swallow at that point. So, yeah, fun times.
Now, I don't know. I don't know how close people are paying attention to the Switch 2, but if you need a little bit more of an incentive, this month 4 bigger titles are dropping onto the Switch 2. They are Darwin's Paradox, which actually dropped today. It's a side scroller from Konami, where players take on the role of an octopus. Yeah. The next one is which is going to come out April 16th. Is a game called Mouse PI for Hire, which is kind of little like old school Mickey Mouse cartoony look to it.
Nice.
It is a first-person shooter game that uses a rubber hose art style, which of course is the old school Mickey Mouse thing. So FPS. The third one is a game called Pragmata, which is coming out April 17th. And Pragmata is the one that I think a lot of people have been paying attention to. It is coming out by Capcom. It is a sci-fi action adventure game with toted unique combat. You'll be controlling the character Hugh. Players are free to use a variety of weapons and trusty jetpack. And while controlling Diana, which is the other character, players can solve hacking puzzles to make robot enemies vulnerable to Hugh's attacks.
Nice.
It looks, I'm not going to lie, it looks sweet. It looks sweet. And the final one is... Huh?
Or is there another one still?
There's one more. And this one's coming out the very end of April. It's called Amnesia Rebirth, which I think is just a port. Because I feel like I have that on PC. I think. Yes. Amnesia Rebirth is this is where players explore a dangerous desert, solving puzzles and avoiding deadly monsters.
Nice.
It is pretty freaking creepy. However, it is a slow burn in parts. Yeah. I have not completed the game, but I could tell you that there's definitely slow burn parts, and that's why I haven't completed the game, because I'm just like, okay.
I hear that.
It kind of picks up every once in a while. And oh, by the way, if you're looking for a first person studio, what do you call it? A studio, Nintendo. Fine. First party studio. There it is. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is coming out May 21st. So if you want to wait one more month, that's
nice.
The big game from Nintendo. Then, of course, there's a shit ton of games coming out in summer, but we're not going to go that far out.
On your horizon that you're going to have to go get? You're like, I need this game.
I might do a little bit more research about Pragmata. And chances are I will probably end up buying Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, because that seems to be a family-friendly game.
Nice.
Hopefully by that time I will have finally completed Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I thought I was getting close to the end, but apparently I'm not.
I feel like you've been playing it for a while.
It's got a lot of game. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of game to it.
Isn't that a good thing, though?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it keeps me guessing as to what's going to happen next. Although I will say, and this is nothing against Donkey Kong Bonanza. This is This happens in all games. As a wise man once said, there is more than one way to play a video game. So there's more than one play style to get through a video game. So there's
sure
always
about
going to be
this?
yes, I'm very sure. And so
Okay.
there's always going to be games that have bosses and mini bosses and enemies where certain individuals, certain gamers may find certain enemies or bosses more difficult than others. And it kind of feels weird because you feel like the difficulty sometimes feels all over the place.
Sure.
But that's because maybe your game style does not do well against those enemies, and I have found that out the hard way. There was an enemy boss 3 back now that I died lots of times, and the very next boss I faced, I just wiped the freaking floor with that guy. So, it could be,
There's also a bit of like, what build are you using? Like melee versus range versus, or composition, depending on like the JRPG style. So that definitely, some bosses definitely are easier or harder depending on how you build your characters.
This is true. There are certain characters that, it's like if you've ever, if we want to go into a deep dive here, but if you ever played a pencil and paper RPG where enemies and bosses have certain immunities or resistance to, it's like, hell, you can even go with Pokemon. There are certain Pokemon that are resistant or immune to certain attacks. But your Pokemon is super duper powered against everybody else.
Yeah, that's the same thing in most in-game ARPGs. You get to immunities of certain element types and how do you work around that?
Yeah.
To strategize.
Yes. So, yeah. All right. Since we were in the mood to announce upcoming stuff, let's talk about the fact that Walt Disney Studios has released a list of upcoming titles, and they've actually gone all the way out crazily, or maybe not crazily, to 2029, though there's not a whole lot of information out to 2029.
I wonder if any of these were made with Sora.
But what I can tell you is, let's see here. Let's look at ones that are important to us. There will be, under Searchlight, which, yes, is under the Walt Disney umbrella, there will be a Super Troopers 3.
Okay.
That is actually aiming to come out August the 8th of 2026. Of course, Avengers Doomsday is coming out December 18th, 2026. However, I've heard a weird rumor about the potential of that movie release date moving because of the studio behind the third Dune movie. Their power move of basically taking all of the IMAXs for like the first, I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks of the release. So Marvel Avengers Doomsday would not be available to be shown in any IMAX theaters for like a month.
Which is kind of crazy because you think of like when Endgame out and it was like Marvel. I mean, the Marvel movies, they were the major mover. Like nobody wanted to do anything around their release date. So it's kind of crazy how the times have changed.
Yes.
Or now you potentially have a Marvel movie moving at the knowing another movie is coming. And I have not read Dune book number 2. I forget what it's actually called. But I will definitely be seeing the movie because the first 2 are super awesome, amazing, epic.
I have yet to see any of them. The only Dune, I'm going to be totally honest with you, the only Dune I have ever seen from start to finish was the miniseries that came out like in the 90s. And that was phenomenal.
So you had the David Lynch version, I think from like 1984, was crazy CGI and Sting being fucking phenomenal. I know that some people may find that controversial, but I think he was perfect for it. For the role as casting, and I will say the second, so Dune, the most recent Dune Part 2 has some of the most amazing cinematography I've ever seen in any movie. The way that then the way that does some of those shots and just it's absolutely breathtaking. So like there's not really been a movie I need to go see in this IMAX. Like Interstellar's one I go see in the IMAX now that I've seen it a couple of times. But doing just having seen what Mr. Villanueva can do, Dune 3, I don't know if that's what they're calling it, but Dune 3 is one I may actually go see in the IMAX just knowing what he's done. So I'm excited about it.
I'd like to correct. It was not in the 90s. It was 2000 and 2003. It was two miniseries. There's Dune and then The Children of Dune, which wrapped up the whole storyline. So it was 6 episodes of that miniseries combined.
Oh, man, with Dune.
Anyways, 2027 has a Star Wars Starfighter movie, which I thought that I guess we've taken enough time off of trying to make a Star Wars movie that we're back.
Sure.
They're making a second Simpsons movie that is scheduled to come out September the 3rd of 2027. And, of course, the highly anticipated, for some, I guess, Frozen 3, which I don't know. I'm like, what the storyline for Frozen 3 pisses me off to no end.
What's the storyline?
Anna, the sister that was born without powers, magically gets powers. Now all of a sudden she's fire, so you could have ice and fire.
So
money grab.
So a bunch of like sci-fi or not fantasy books where then they have the opposing powers, so they become enemies. Oh, to the very end, they realize they have to band together to unite their powers to take down the evil king.
You know, this just sounds like the Jenny Wirtz novel, the War of Light and Shadow, whereas two half-brothers who have an alien parasite that makes them truly hate each other when they're in each other's presence. Well, actually, only one. The Miss Wraith, I think, is only in the brother that's power is light. The Shadow guy is like, I just want to be left alone, so I'm going to go hide over here. Sorry, spoiler. God damn it. But literally the first 5 books is just the light guy trying to track down the Shadow guy who's trying to live by himself in some weird-ass corner and then running away to another place and then rinse and repeat. That's the first 5 books. Sorry, or not sorry, because I just saved you some time.
On the book side, I think we can confidently say that into Frozen 3, there will be a conclusion where they become friends again.
Or Elsa will have to save Anna because Anna can't control her firepower and she starts burning down everything. And she pulls an Elsa and tries to hide away in, I guess, the beach. Like, what you can't do an ice palace, so a volcano. She hides away in a volcano.
What if you made like a fire Olaf out of the volcano, and maybe actually became the main like storyline protagonist of Frozen 4?
Lava Golem.
There we go.
Named
Lava Golem and Olaf. I would dig that.
Sure.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, and just one more in 2028, scheduled currently for June 16th, 2028, The Incredibles 3. And that one I'm actually interested in because I love The Incredibles 1. It's like the perfect Fantastic Four, but not Fantastic Four, but really it is Fantastic Four movie. The second one was pretty good. The third one, if they could get the whole voice acting crew back together, I think they're still all alive. That'll be fun.
See, I've not seen any of the Incredibles. I don't know if I've ever actually seen Frozen start to finish in like one sitting. And I haven't seen like a actual Marvel movie in its entirety, I think, since Marvel Endgame Part 2. Right now, I saw that terrible one with Jared Leto.
Morbius.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we don't count that apparently for good reason.
Not to be confused with other movies she's been in. Let's see here. Have I seen? I think I've seen some of the Spider-Mans. Those were fun, at least.
The one with Tom Holland. It's the Spider-Man that's in Endgame.
Yeah, I saw Homecoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Jake is a great bad guy. Smart guys. Let's see here.
Mysterio, man, they actually did a very good job with Mysterio. Not gonna lie.
Oh, he was phenomenal as Mysterio.
It was not. It didn't feel like a cheap throwaway baddie.
Yeah, it's hard to draw. It honestly is hard to do that kind of baddie where it's like, but it comes off as authentic, and he actually did it really well.
Yes, he did.
Not many actors could have done that role as well as he did. Actually, bad enemies when you think, but I mean good enemies. You think of the Hobgoblin. He's a classic. He did what? I can't remember the actor's name right now.
The Green Goblin, and it was William Dafoe.
Thank you. William Dafoe is phenomenal in that role.
The one I didn't see the Andrew Garfield ones. And having what's his face? That 70s show, Toby whatever, be Venom in one of the last Tobey Maguire movies, Spider-Man movies. Like, no, Venom is like he's muscle bound, and it's like wimpy nerd man.
I don't think I've actually seen any of the standalone Venom movies.
I have not, but I heard the first one was really good, and then it was just kind of like, okay.
And now I guess you have Kraven the Hunter, which I
heard was terrible.
Along with what's the one with the female spider?
What the fuck was it? My wife literally was like, I just wanted it to end.
What was it called? Because apparently that was like really bad.
Oh my gosh, what was it called? Lady Webb, maybe? No.
Madame Web.
Madam Web.
Madam Web, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, your first problem is you have Dakota Johnson in it, but whatever. Apparently, I mean, just the script was, I guess, absolutely trash.
Yes.
I don't think any actors could have saved it, is what I've read, basically.
No, it didn't matter. That's what I've heard, was it did not matter. It was like so, like, yes, I understand comic book movies can be cheesy, but it was like so cheesy that you just couldn't stomach it. It would make you sick. It would make everyone lactose intolerant.
Ugh.
Violently lactose intolerant. That's how cheesy it was.
I'll take some meds before seeing it.
I don't think the meds would even help. That's how bad it was. But that's what I've heard. I've never actually watched it, because once my wife said that it was really, really bad, I was like, okay, I trust you.
Not bad. It's like, oh, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just going to leave it alone. Leave it alone. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep. Not on my list. I'm good.
So ironically, right after last week's Thursday Night Hangout, a news story broke about something that Zealeus and I made mention of. And that was, ladies and gentlemen, Nintendo is planning a new Star Fox.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That day would come out like right afterwards.
And they're claiming it's going to be a classic style Star Fox. So it's not going to try to reinvent the wheel. It's going to feel like the Star Fox that you love and adore.
I say, like, the one good thing you're getting like an actual like Nintendo game is it's a game. Meaning, like, if it comes out like on the PC or like console, you're like, okay, what do my DLC schedule look like? What is my in-game microtransactions like? Like all those ancillary things that you now come to expect from PC games.
Yeah.
That is still the big benefit, I think. And I think what Nintendo does very well, and I hope they continue to do well, is you buy a Star Fox game, you have a Star Fox game.
Yep.
Yeah, it's there. You go. It's an old story. So that's definitely one of the things I hope that they continue to do well, and that they don't go down the whole gotcha microtransaction. Sorry, and by a real Star Fox game, you mean you're gonna have to play all these levels and then get loot boxes to let the other Star Fox ship to travel and fight the enemies.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. Not. I mean, maybe if it was a third-party studio, but not a Nintendo. Not Nintendo.
Oh no, they won't, which is great.
Yeah. So I mean, that's gonna be awesome. Speaking of Star Fox, of course, the rumors started really heating up about Nintendo maybe doing something with Star Fox simply because there is going to be a Star Fox cameo in the movie that was released yesterday, Super Mario Galaxy. I've talked to a friend who saw the movie. They said that if you're looking for plot, you're not gonna find it. But if you're looking for a shit ton of Nintendo Easter eggs and just a silly fun adventure, then yep, that's it. But they did mention the fact that there is no Donkey Kong in this movie, which led them to believe that perhaps maybe Nintendo is thinking of a Donkey Kong movie behind the scenes. But who knows?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not?
What do we know?
We know nothing, damn it. And that's a
Why
problem.
start now?
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause real quick to thank the individuals who help Alter Confusion be the Alter Confusion that you love and adore, and that, of course, is our friends of the show. So without further ado, let us start it off the right way with Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships with local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we're going to give is to the AV master himself. That, of course, is Noodleboy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodleboy Media, previously Wack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing high-level professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next shout out we got to give is to an individual who was actually at my house today to help ease some of the aches and pains of sitting in my desk chair for too long, thanks work, and maybe a couple longer than anticipated video game sessions. That's my bad. But anyways, Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone could be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to their individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout out we're going to give is the music maestro himself. That, of course, is Crosspad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alter Confusion. Crosspad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. And finally, the last friend we've got to thank is the one and only Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both the development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he's the Agile evangelist, Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, real quick, speaking of NASA, did anyone watch the Artemis 2 launch?
It was sick.
Yeah! We're going to the moon! Again! Finally!
I really hope like NASA can become awesome again.
I know.
Not that it's ever not been awesome, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah. We need
Yeah.
it to be front and center like it was when we were little.
Indeed, yes. Like people like, watch kids like, what do you want to be when you like? I want that again.
Hmm.
Yes, aspire for awesomeness.
Indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know that at this very moment in time, you're asking yourself, how do I become a friend of the show? Well, it's quite simple. Ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion survives on love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, vampires, werewolves, swamp creatures, mummies, supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 tiers. We have the $1 a month tier. It's $1 a month or $12 a year. What that gets you is early access to all of our playthroughs, as well as the ability to participate in patron-only posts. Now, if you're feeling a little extra frisky, you could bump that sucker right up to $5 a month. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. What that gets you is everything at the $1 tier, as well as your name or organization added to the Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday Night Hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Alter Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Altered Confusion today. Now, the next shout out we got to give, of course, or I guess bit of information is, ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion is proud to say we have been fundraising for Extra Life for 15 years straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact of the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion. I also want to point out, ladies and gentlemen, that I am wearing last year's Extra Life t-shirt because we were able to raise a certain amount of money to make that milestone. So I get the sweet t-shirt, and I guess since I'm wearing the Extra Life stuff, I should probably wear the medal as well.
Yeah, you gotta swag the swag.
I know. So here's the medal, baby. Boom! I
There
still
you
need to
go.
figure out where my other medal is. I know I've got at least one more, but yes. Seriously, Extra Life, it's a phenomenal thing. My family personally has a lot of medical stuff when it comes to Children's Healthcare Atlanta. And they've taken very, very good care of myself, my siblings, and now my children. So anything that I can do to help them out is worth doing.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know also that there are individuals out there who want to have some Alter Confusion swag. Perhaps a hat or a coffee cup. Or I don't know where the beanie went because somebody was sitting at my desk earlier today. That's one of my children, by the way. It's not like some random stranger walked in. Or perhaps you would like a vinyl sticker or some of the other stuff that's available. All you got to do is go to alteredconfusion.tv/merch. That's MERCH. And you could see the whole spread. And of course, once again, I very, very, very much oh my God, now I'm making up words. I highly recommend that you get not one, but two, at least two of everything so that, just in case you need an extra or perhaps you want to gift something but still have something for yourself, you've got a spare. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, it's a very practical take on everything. Why not just have redundant everything?
Exactly.
Just buy 2 cars, 2 houses, 2 retirement funds, 2 different classes.
Well, technically, people could have multiple retirement funds if they didn't stay with the same business that they started off with.
Ooh, good point.
Ha-ha! I do have a couple brain cells left up here.
Scaped out there, little 6 tiny holes in your hat.
Ha-ha. Anyways, okay. Let us get back into What were we talking about again? Video
He
games?
was gonna build video games.
So I was
Right.
asking, I've got a fan question that was asked the other day, and I wanted to bring it up. I don't know how to answer because it is a little bit vague, but at the same time, okay, I'll just ask it.
Okay.
In your opinion, who is a villain that should never be redeemed? When it comes to video games and comic books and movies, okay? Let's not talk about, like, real-world dictators. Just want to clear the air with that one real quick.
Oh.
Because I went, oh, Mussolini, Hitler, the list goes on. No.
Interesting. I know this doesn't quite answer the question, but I was thinking of a game like the BioWare games, like where eventually some of like the villains could become part of your parties. Could happen. So it can work.
Yeah, but who would you never want to be redeemed?
Never be. I know. Now I'm trying to think.
Like, I'm trying to think, who is a big enough douchebag in movies or books or video games that you're like, Handsome Jack from Borderlands?
Fine, come on. Let's see here.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. And the funny thing is, I've had days to think about this, and I still can't figure it out. There's in my experience, I think it's very, very rare to have a bad guy, a villain that's so bad that he has no redeeming, no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, I guess. I don't know. That dude was twisted. I don't. The Horn King from Black Cauldron. Boom. There you go. He does not need to be redeemed. I don't know. I really don't. Huh?
Sauron from Lord of the Rings.
But he went bad, right? He went bad all the time. But then again, I guess the Horn King technically could have been good and then got corrupted. I don't know. It's just too hard of a question. It's like it's a round table, like a panel discussion at a convention, an hour long, at least hour long, maybe even more.
I don't know. My brain's not that big.
Like, the problem is a lot of the villains become villains for trying to do the right thing for the wrong reason, and then they just start grabbing at power no matter what.
And that's the thing. I feel like that's like every Final Fantasy, like an evil person. Once you learn their backstory, it's kind of like, oh, okay. Like, they don't even know a good person now, but you can at least understand their motivations, which to me is good storytelling, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's the hard part. Or somebody comes like Sephiroth, where they're so iconic in their role, well, it's like, no, treat them as they are.
Yeah.
I think the example I think of actually that comes to mind in this type of scenario is actually Darth Vader. In that, just having the way that it left off in Star Wars, I think sometimes you don't need to explain your character's backstory.
Right.
Is I guess what I'm getting at. We'll eventually learn, his backstory and who he was with the, prequel and all that stuff. But I feel like somebody like Darth Vader is actually better off having no backstory. He was just, he was James Earl Jones, right? He was the actor who did the voice.
Yeah, that's the voice. Yep.
Yeah, and that's all he knew, right? And obviously knew he was Luke's father and that stuff because it was in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, less is more for a character. And I honestly think Darth Vader is the perfect example where less is more. Where, he is definitely an antagonist. He's a bad guy. And I think having it just left at where he was like, the perfect place. Um, so that's kind of what I would take sometimes is less is more.
Okay, so I'm going to grab onto Star Wars, but I'm not going to use Darth Vader.
Okay.
And I am going to go with the conspiracy that's out there about
Oh,
a certain
jeez.
character who
No.
everyone says was good, but I think was
No.
secretly bad. I'll go with it. And the villain who should never have a chance of being redeemed, Jar Jar Binks.
Get out of here.
I'm serious. He screws up and almost gets him captured every single time. He is trying to set him up. He is a Sith Lord's apprentice. You just don't know it.
It is his job.
Yes, he is very terrible at his job. Or perhaps the heroes are just that lucky because the Force just wills them another path.
If only
Go with that.
any of the orders were there to protect them when that happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go with that. I really don't. I can't think of a character that was evil at like from the get go. But you're right. With not knowing the backstory and basically getting introduced to the character as bad guy, and this bad guy until his death, or bad guy until I don't know he's captured, then you don't want to see him redeemed. But when you start getting into that territory where now you're giving the prequels and the backstory, and now you see like the terrible angsty drama and whatnot,
Yeah. Oh, I think it's done right. A bad character, their backstory is still just straight up evil. And I think actually a good example is Warhammer 40K.
Mm-hmm.
So reading the Horus Heresy right now.
Mm-hmm.
And basically Horus becomes arguably a villain. And you understand where his intentions are from, but it still does things that are so despicable where you're like, no, you're just a terrible person. There's no redeeming this. Especially because if you want to know anything about 40K, you already understand the ramifications of his actions and what it wrought to the universe.
Gotcha.
So if done well, I think a character, even with their backstory, can still be unredeemable. Yeah. I think that's a question I'd have to think about, like going into a series. Like, that's not really something that's part of my thought while watching a series, but I think that's something I almost have to think ahead about. Like, okay, who are the bad people and which are not redeemable? I know one. It's Morgan Freeman and I think Brad Pitt.
Oh, Seven.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey's character.
He's not redeemable.
No, he's not. And to be totally honest with you, another Kevin Spacey character, although highly enjoyable to watch, Kaiser Sose. Wow.
Yeah. Well, the political one, or he was the president, or became president. Spoiler alert. And he does some truly despicable things in the TV series.
Oh, the House of Cards.
Thank you. Yeah, House of Cards. And he does some truly.
So basically, Kevin Spacey.
Well, fair point. Yeah, he was just being himself. You're absolutely right on that one. Yeah.
No. Okay. This is
good question, though. I appreciate the question.
Yes, it's a very good question. It makes you think, and you're right. It's if you're not prepared to kind of outline who's good, who's bad, like from the get-go, it is very hard to go back and go, well, he had his dark times, but
I want to start go back and like actually look through my library and like
Yeah.
my games, my books, my rules, and actually like look at them and think about each one and be like, okay, what about you? What about you? And really kind of think about each one individually.
Ah, Lumberg from Office Space.
It's been so long since seen the movie, I can't help you there.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to come in on Saturday. That'd be great. Anyways, yes, very good question. So I know that we've already talked about this several times, and now all of a sudden it's like brand new news to half the sites out there. But guess what? Dungeon Crawler Carl is going to have a live action adaptation that's going to be created with the help of Seth MacFarlane's studio.
I think
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.
We knew this.
Yes.
Why is everyone going, oh my God, look, what's going to happen?
Because people are slowly learning about Dungeon Crawler and I guess how great it is.
That feels like a bajillion years ago.
So I guess what's kind of funny about Dungeon Crawler. I have not actually read Dungeon Crawler. I'm terrible to say Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yep.
I've not read it. Someday I'm sure I will, but I have not in my current drunk life. But apparently there's troglodytes in it.
Yes.
And I will occasionally call people troglodytes when they're being totally dumb, stupid people.
Yes.
And people are like, oh, it's to Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're just troglodyte. So I don't know. That's all I know about Dungeon Crawler is apparently there's troglodytes. And I think it's a great word to call people when they're being stupid.
Indeed. I'm cheating and trying to go back through the Discord page to see if I could find because I know that
No, we definitely talked about this with Seth MacFarlane because they were like, who's doing it? And when you said that, I'm like, oh, gives me hope.
June 23rd, 2025.
Soothsayers, we know the future.
Maybe the exciting news is that they've decided that they're going to do it on Peacock. It's going to be a Peacock series, so maybe people are now paying attention to now that it's. I mean, we already knew that it was a real thing. They've already said that they had the first draft of parts of the script already done. Like that was last month. So I'm really confused as to why everyone's losing their effing minds now.
Well, great. Another streaming service that I don't have.
Apparently, you can. I don't know. It's so freak. I don't understand like streaming services nowadays. I can't figure it out.
There's too
many, and then they're buying each other out, and then shit's moving to different stuff. Where do I go to watch my shows?
Yeah. And the worst part is if you're a sports fan.
Yes. Oh, speaking of which, randomly, I was on Amazon Prime because I live in Atlanta. I will tell you that I live in Atlanta, and I am a huge Atlanta Hawks fan. But it is very difficult for me to see a Hawks game because it's on a TV station that like literally doesn't exist except for like one provider. So my home team I can't watch unless I physically go to a bar or go to the game.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, randomly, I'm on Amazon Prime last night. They're like, oh, look, the Atlanta Hawks and the Orlando Magic are currently playing. I'm like, what? So I got to watch a little bit of it, and I was just flabbergasted by the fact that I actually got to watch a little bit of the Hawks game.
That's crazy. I'm hearing the Hawks are really good in those 20 games, too.
Yeah, they're like 18-2.
Yeah, so they moved up to like number 6 in the East.
They're 5 now.
Oh, 5? Damn.
Yep.
No, I mean, yeah.
If they continue to do this, this could be fun. We could have a good basketball team. We have a pretty dang good professional lacrosse team, the Swarm, who statistically still haven't locked in their freaking playoff spot because there's such a huge bunch right in the middle. Which, by the way, side note, I know this is not a sports podcast, but one of the teams is going to cease operation at the end of the year. The Philadelphia Wings, who their owners, who also own the Philadelphia Flyers, decided to shut the Wings down.
Oh, that's sad.
Yes. So.
Well, it's okay. Atlanta might have a hockey team again.
Yes, and the Seattle, the city of Seattle is about to get their freaking basketball team back, which they should never have lost in the first place. They should have just given OKC an expansion team.
Well, I guess for us, third time's a charm.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
Our fan base is. No offense, Atlanta, but we are an international city, and we love to be fashionably late to a lot of the big games. And because we're an international city, we have a shit ton of transplants. And so it's very unlikely that our fan base will outpace any other fan base when it comes to the visiting team coming to town.
The hockey was the ownership group was just shit.
They just wanted the arena. They didn't give a shit about the team.
Yeah. That was the biggest issue, was they really had no interest in the actual team.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of almost like destined to fail from the beginning, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, man. I think we're going to have to save this last topic for another day. I will just tell you briefly that there is a big name game designer who's come out and it's accusing Crimson Desert developers of creating a certain race of characters that are racist.
Oh,
so we'll do a deep dive into creating racist characters, and is it okay? Yay!
Oh, Crimson Deserters, you can have an army of cats apparently.
Yes. I pulled up the story for Zealeus that there are actually people out there who are abandoning the storyline to just collect cats.
Well, I'm seeing on my Instagram feed now because I follow cats in cosplayers on my Instagram, and there's a very natural overlay between the two.
Well, there you go.
So yes, I'm seeing mostly usually joke videos, where it's basically people carrying around cats and ignoring NPCs to do quests. I'm like,
yes.
I can get behind this.
Oh, speaking of silly things, for those of you who probably don't live under a rock, you know that yesterday was April Fool's Day. I historically shut down all of my social media, my everything. I don't look at any news articles. I don't do anything. But on occasion, I will go out there just to see if I can find something fun, something silly, something stupid. I found that the team behind The Witcher, for a April Fool's joke, came out with a horse controller, so you can control Roach, your trusty steed, and it's literally one of those hobby horses, which is awesome. And then Zealeus, of course, added the Sonic collection, which is just really terrible looking Sonic drawings.
It looks so good.
Which I'm curious. I wonder if you can actually buy these.
Yes, you 100% can.
Oh, sweet.
It's real.
You know, the funny thing is that I've heard that a lot of the April Fool's stuff, like for gotcha drops and in a bunch of video games, people are like, can you keep those in the game? Yeah. I know it was a joke, but this is awesome.
Yep.
So. Yeah.
Sorry, it doesn't make enough money for us. We can't actually keep it in the game.
Damn you. You bastard. Anyways. All right.
I need more monies.
Don't we all?
Touche.
Oh, for those that are on the fence about being Patreon, I will tell you that the latest early access playthrough is now up. For your enjoyment,
Nice.
it's a game called American Arcadia by the creators of. Oh my gosh, what's the name of that game?
I do not.
It's another game that I have done I did a playthrough for and a review. It is something. Oh my gosh, is it Out of the Blue? No, Call of the Sea. But American Arcadia was a lot of fun. Not gonna lie, it was a lot of fun. So, I'm probably gonna post the review for American Arcadia soon, and I'll just add the playthrough into the review at a later date because it's a good game and people should check it out. So, anyways, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've reached the end of our show. So, without further ado, I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving everything cameras our heads, everything coming out of our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Let's keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. I did it. I actually didn't accidentally open up a tab over Zealeus' face this week.
Oh, it's because I resumed correctly
That's true.
somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you did it, Zealeus, but congratulations to you.
It's still open.
I don't know how you did it, but congrats to you.
Just one for next week when I'm zoomed in like 400%.
Yeah.
You can see my glasses in stereo vision.
Dun dun dun. All righty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end the stream. I got to talk to Zealeus